Do you know what is the difference between T2 and T3 EC2 instance type? Or can you decode the C7i.4x large instance type? If you are not, or if you are hesitating, this video is for you. Let's move on. So in this video, you're going to learn how AWS names its EC2 instance and what are the letters, numbers and sizes in the naming conventions. How you can identify the purpose of the EC2 instance by the name itself. From the name, you can tell what is the purpose of that EC2 instance. And then for the exam, what kind of questions you may expect for the exam. So it has three parts. Number one is a T. T is for the family. And the second part is the generation. In this example, number 3 is a generation, means third generation. And then third part after the dot is the size. It may be micro, it may be small or large. We'll go into this more detail. So if someone is going to buy a car and he told you that I'm going to buy a car SUV hybrid XL, you know exactly what kind of car he is going to buy, because from the name itself you can tell it's a SUV and it is a hybrid car and it's a large XL. So same applicable for EC2 instance type as well. If someone tells I'm gonna spin up T3 micro, you can tell what it is the EC2 instance and what's the performance, what's the cost it can be. So you know everything about that EC2 instance, because T is the family, third generation, and is the micro is the size of that EC2 instance. Let's decode this simple T3 dot micro. T is for the family. What is the instance it is optimized for? The letter reveals its core purpose. And 3 is a generation. That means how new the hardware is. Higher the number means more modern and efficient chip. So previously we had T2 micro, so it was older generation, but now we have a 3, means it is a newer generation, not a latest but the newer generation T3. And then you have a dot micro, it is a size, it's like a t-shirt size, how much CPU and memory it has for that EC2 instance type. Let's talk about first family. What are the families you will see in the EC2 instance type? So T is the burstable general purpose EC2 instance, like a small city car, great for websites, development environment, staging environment, and the light workloads. You go for burstable general purpose EC2 instance such as T2 micro, T3 micro, and I'll show you the list. Then you have a C, compute optimized. This is designed for compute intensive tasks like a batch processing, gaming servers, and scientific modeling. Then third family type is R, memory optimized instances, such as you want to run the database, you go for the R type of EC2 instance. Then M is a general purpose instance, but this is not burstable. This is a balanced for compute, memory, and networking. The versatile workloads for most standard workloads. And M5 is my go-to instance for any workload I go for. Then I is for the storage optimized. If your application is a storage efficiency is required, you go for the storage optimized EC2 instance. From the EC2 instance type itself, you can tell whether it's a storage optimized or not. Now let's talk about the second part of this EC2 instance type name is a generation number, such as 2, 3. 2 means second generation, 3 means third generation, T3 means T is the family, 3 is the third generation, M5 is a fifth generation, M is the general purpose EC2 instance, but the 5 is the fifth generation EC2 instance. And if you see this M7, that means you know that it's a newer generation. M7 is the newer generation, M is the same general purpose EC2 instance, but here you see another letter added is a I, because it's a chip type it is added. So I means Intel, you can see the G as well, Z means Graviton CPU, you can see A as well, A means AMD processor. So now third part we talk about is the size. It's basically, you can see that size like a nano or micro. This is the smallest size EC2 instance, minimal vCPUs and RAM. And then you can go for small and medium. This is the entry level workloads you can go for. Then you have a large or X large. This is the production grade servers. You can go for this large and X large size, and you can go for 2x large and beyond, 4x large, 8x large, like that. So progression is like that. Based on the performance efficiency and the performance data you have, you can go up and up and up. like a 2x large, 4x large, and 8x large. So we talked about the three pillars or three part of that EC2 instance naming conventions. One is the family, number two is the generation, and number three is the size of the EC2 instance, like a instance size. Let's decode this M5 large. M means general purpose EC2 instance. This is not a burstable performance, it is a general purpose. This is a balanced for compute, memory, and networking. Then you have a 5. This is the 5th generation hardware it has. So next is a large, means size of this EC2 instance is a medium allocation, enough CPU and memory for real workloads without over provisioning. You can start with M5 large, and then if you see that you need more performance, then you got M5 2x large, then 4x large, then 8x large. That's how you test before you fix that EC2 instance type. So the name itself can tell you what is the EC2 instance is, what kind of price you are going to pay, and what kind of performance you are going to get. Let's talk about the real world use cases. Like if you see the T3 micro, generally you are going for the burstable performance. Burstable means you get the CPU credits. More you run that EC2 instance, you accrue that CPU credits, and when your application need more performance, you spend that accrued CPU credits, and that's why it is a burstable performance. And if you have not accrued that enough CPU credits, you will run out of the CPU credits, so you will not get the performance you need. Your application will not get the performance you need. And there is another mode you can run, is the unlimited mode. So unlimited means is a burstable but is unlimited, but you have to pay for it. So the M5 large is real world use cases, is like a Netflix needs to balance compute and memory for their applications, and that time you go for M5 large. For me, it is a go-to EC2 instance. Any average workload you can go for M5 large because it's a general purpose EC2 instance. And then if you go for a C7I, like compute optimized EC2 instance, generally if you execute some compute intensive risk calculations like financial institution does, you can go for C family EC2 instance or C class EC2 instance. C7i.2x large is one of the EC2 instance type. So I is for Intel processor and 2x large is the size. Like as I said, it's a T-shirt size. So the naming conventions show up constantly in your exam. A company needs a newer generation general purpose EC2 instance and for their application servers. So T3 micro is the wrong answer because it's a burstable CPU instance, and C5 large is also wrong answer because it's a compute optimized, but question is asking for general purpose instance. So M6I large is the right answer in this case. R4 dot large also it's a wrong answer because it is a memory optimized family EC2 instance. Now you know how to answer the questions. So don't confuse with the family with the size, because same family you can go to higher sizes. Like if you go for M family, you can go for a higher size like 5, 7 like that. So this is your cheat sheet. T is for general purpose burstable, M is for general purpose balanced, C is for compute optimized, R is for memory optimized, I is for storage optimized. And this you see the progression from nano to micro to small, medium, large, X large, 2X large, 4X large, 8X large, 16X large. That's the progression of the EC2 instance type. More you go towards the right, you pay more, you get more performance, more CPU, more memory, everything more, but you pay more as well. So you start with small and then move on to the higher sizes so that you get the performance what you are looking for. That's how you actually pick the right EC2 instance type. You cannot just land a right EC2 instance type. You have to start with small and then move on the higher sizes. Remember the 5 things before you go. EC2 names follow a predictable pattern. Definitely in the name you will see the family letters and then generation numbers and the size suffix. Then the first letter identifies the family, T, M, C, R, I. T is for the general purpose EC2 instance. Number represents the generation. Definitely the second part is the number. It represents the generation. Third generation, fourth or fifth generations. Suffix indicates instance size. So 2x large, 4x large, this is the suffix and it indicates the size. and you will know that what kind of size EC2 instance you are using. Like you can see the difference between 2x large and the 16x large. Definitely 16x large is a higher size and you pay the higher amount of bill. The name matters for the exam and real world scenario. Understanding the naming convention is very important for the exam. Before you go, the quick recap: 3 pillars or 3 parts of that naming conventions: family letters, generations, and size suffix. And let's decode M5 large family. Does it make sense now what it is M5 large family instance? So you do. T3 is a burstable general purpose, M5 is a general purpose 5th generation, and C7I is a compute optimized 7th generation Intel. After you end this video, definitely you are going to take 3 actions. Number 1 actions: decode the 5 real names, right? You see in this bottom of the screen 5 EC2 instance type I gave you, and you just decode it, right? So that whatever you learn now, you can practice right now. Once you do that, then you do is audit. You go to your console and wherever you are working and see what is the EC2 instance running and audit that EC2 instance. Understand what is the EC2 instance type, family, generation, and then size, and understand whether this EC2 instance type is right for that workload. And then what you do is actually understand the cost implication and performance implication of that EC2 instance type which is running for your application. All right, so then ask questions: are you overpaying or not? Then third action you take: drill that exam trap as a flashcard. You create a flashcard and practice the EC2 instance type, and it goes into your head, and subconsciously next time you will pick the right EC2 instance type, and then you decide the right size as well as you move on and then test that EC2 instance type. So I gave you 3 action items: decode 5 real names, and number 2, audit that instance you're running in your workloads, and then number 3, use the flashcard and practice the EC2 instance type. More you practice, more you easily you can recommend the EC2 instance type during the meeting itself without any pressure. Otherwise you may feel pressure after you responding, oh, I can do M5 large, but it may not be correct, but you have to practice it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you to understand and decode the EC2 instance type. I will see you in the next piece.